The future of Australia's energy policy is a hotly debated topic, with business and energy leaders speaking out against the coalition's proposed abandonment of net zero emissions. This move, they argue, will not achieve the promised reduction in power bills, but instead, it could lead to a less stable investment environment and higher prices for households and businesses. A controversial shift. The coalition's new strategy, led by Susan Ley, includes a departure from any net zero target, dismantling existing climate policies, and an increased reliance on gas and coal-fired power. This approach has raised concerns among industry leaders and even moderate liberals. One of the most controversial aspects is the potential use of taxpayer funds to underwrite coal-fired power, a move that has angered some within the party. Ley, however, maintains that this technology-neutral approach will bring down power prices, blaming Labour's policies for higher energy bills. But here's where it gets interesting: the experts are saying otherwise. Net zero emissions, a necessary target? Net zero emissions is a commitment made by governments and organizations to address the climate crisis. It's about reducing our contribution to global warming by cutting climate pollution and balancing any remaining emissions by removing an equivalent amount of CO2 from the atmosphere. The science is clear: to limit global heating to 1.5 C, as agreed in the Paris Climate Agreement, deep cuts in global CO2 emissions are required. This means reducing emissions by about 45% from 2010 levels by 2030, and reaching net zero by around 2050. Over 145 countries have already set or are considering net zero targets, recognizing the need for urgent action. Jackie Trad, the chief executive of the Clean Energy Council, emphasizes that abandoning net zero won't cut power bills or improve energy security. She warns that without a credible plan to replace coal units, households and businesses will face higher prices and system instability. The Australian Energy Council's survey of energy industry leaders further supports this view, with Louisa Kinnear stating that renewable energy with firming support is ultimately cheaper than coal-fired power. A plan without details? Industry groups, including the Australian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, ACCI, and the Australian Industry Group, are calling for more details on the coalition's strategy. Andrew McKellar from ACCI describes it as a bit of a plan not to have a plan, highlighting the contradiction with the coalition's support for the Paris Agreement. Ines Willix from the Australian Industry Group echoes the need for more information, suggesting that the coalition's plan may lead to a return to coal, which is economically unviable and takes too long to develop. The Minerals Council of Australia, while supporting net zero by 2050, emphasizes that all technologies should be considered. So, the question remains: will the coalition's strategy deliver on its promises, or is it a plan that lacks substance and could potentially harm Australia's energy security and investment environment?